my friends! Today is May 4, it's Monday. I am officially unemployed! Diba? As you may know, I just resigned last week. I have May and June to do all that I want to do. Siguro after ng quarantine, pag lahat normal na, baka mag-sink in sa akin na hindi na talaga ako missionary. Or when I get to start my classes. So do pray for me. I will be taking some entrance exams and giving some of the requirements I need so I can enroll by June and hopefully start my online classes on July. Kaya I'm really just going to share with you some of the things that I'm doing so I can maximize the time I have while I'm unemployed. I also want to share with you the things I've been learning din. Gusto ko munang i-share yung mga bagay na hindi masyadong nag-work. Then later, I'll be sharing the things that worked for me during this quarantine season. Number 1 on my list that didn't really work for me is watching Kdramas and anime. I finished one series already, yung Fight for My Way, and I can really say I fell in love with the drama itself because I'm really a hopeless romantic. But then I realized I feel like when I'm watching, I'm using it as an escape from my reality. K-dramas temporarily fill in my emotional needs, but it doesn't really complete it. It's not bad at all, but if I get too much of it and it occupies my thought life, it's not good. It doesn't guard my heart because it makes me expect from people, especially if I will be involved in a relationship. It makes me expect that, oh, a guy should act this way or a girl should act this way, relationship should be this way. While the fact is, the stories there are just made up. If I get too much of it, it's going to really affect my future. It might affect how I view relationships. Second is engaging in social media. Of course, I want to be updated with the news and the lives of people, especially close friends. Pero ang social media kasi pwede rin kasi siyang maging trigger for you to compare yourself, like your life to other people's lives. Pwede mong ilagay din sometimes yung value mo dun sa pinapost mo, like how many likes you get with this. Hindi mo naman kailangan ilagay yung satisfaction mo whether, you know, people like your content. You want to do it because you want to glorify God, right? So I have decided to put a minimum of people in other social media accounts. Like, I don't add all the friend requests and the followers requests kasi as much as possible, ayokong i-maintain na, kapag marami akong followers, kailangan I have to constantly perform or do something that would keep them there. Sayang yung time ko to please people when I can just please the Lord, right? But you'll notice that when you go to my Instagram, most of my posts are cooking videos. I'm using Instagram as my reference, actually. I don't want to forget some recipes that my mom has taught me and other people has taught me. When I forget how to cook it, I can like easily find it. It's just in my Instagram. At least somehow, diba, maging benefit na rin yun sa mga manonood kasi it might give them ideas. Another thing is I feel like social media can be a time waster because minsan iniisip ko na okay, few minutes lang ako mag-browse. Tapos na-realize ko na parang nakaisang oras na ako. I can use that 1 hour to do something more productive. Social media can be toxic too. Kahit merong mga good things that you see and browse online, like encouraging things, you can't also avoid that there are posts that makes you not feel good, especially when I see posts that are not really glorifying to God. It's not bad that I do social media, but I try to like limit it. Now I move into the things that worked for me during this quarantine season. The first thing that worked for me is making music collaborations. I want to use this time to reconnect with people I haven't like connected with. I've been tapping some of my disciples or friends, making the collab would like intentionally make me converse with them. Since I have resigned, I want to use it as remembrance video so that when I look back, oh, I've worked with this person, I've known this person. Also get to furnish or I get to hone more my piano skills. It's always been my dream to be a pianist since I was a little kid. I realized that when I make collabs, it kind of forces me to push myself to practice more this specific skill since I haven't been doing it often. At least I have a reason to play because I've actually tapped people that we're gonna do this. I also want to minister to people through music may not be professionally made like others, and I'm not trying to like make it perfect or professionally made. The songs we're playing might touch or move people in a way. Might as well do it like as a ministry for the rest of the months to come. The second thing that worked for me is reading books. I've read actually one whole book already last month, and I kind of stopped reading since I focused more on doing collabs, but I'm getting back into reading again. And I've been reading books on personal development, especially in terms of growing emotionally. There's a saying that emotions precedes thinking. If I don't want to feel burdened or I don't want to feel this certain emotion, I should fill my mind with things that would encourage me. I think reading books or listening to ebooks, listening to sermons online, or listening to other Christian authors would really help me a lot so I can learn more. Since I have a love for learning, I want to practice reading because when my classes start, I'm gonna be reading a lot of books. Lalo na hindi ako reader. Third thing that worked for me this season is vlogging. I'm not really a fancy writer, and I can't say I have mastered the art of writing. But whenever I write, I get to process my thoughts, my learnings, and the more it's easier for me to apply kasi I've written them down. Tapos what helps too is when I get to share these thoughts with people, when I get to share my blogs with my friends, it retains more on me. It makes me more accountable na ay, shinare ko tong vlog na to sa kanya about this certain struggle I have or about this certain action point I want to do. If I know someone has read that, then I have to maintain that kind of application, right? I want to also improve my writing skills and at the same time process well the things I'm learning. Fourth thing that worked for me this quarantine season is self-care. As some of you may know, I'm actually so proud of myself because every other day I get to exercise. For 1 hour, what I do is I search up my favorite songs. If they have a Zumba, secretly I have a passion for dancing. I'm just not very vocal about it, but when I was a kid, I would literally dance to my favorite songs in front of a mirror. Maybe you've done that too, right? I want to make exercise really exciting by dancing. Another self-care I thought of, learning about skincare. I'm not really the kind of person who is very intentional to take care of my skin. I've also gotten into life coaching with one of my friends. So every other week, we'd have sessions, how I can improve on this particular area. The fifth thing that worked for me this quarantine season is decluttering. Since one of my values is stewardship, nasasayangan ako sa mga gamit na meron ako pero hindi ko naman nagagamit. Kung hindi man ako naka-benefit sa mga bagay na meron ako, then others may be able to benefit from it. So isa din sa mga naisip ngayon is to sell some of my stuff online, and then they can deposit their support to churches or give their donation somewhere para makahelp din sa season na to. Sometimes a lot of things or files can stress you when there are so many positive spaces like instead of negative spaces. It kind of makes your mind so occupied, like, oh, you have so many things going on. I want to live a more simple life because the more that I have something to work on, it gives me so much stress kasi parang I have to be a good steward of this kasi I have this eh. The sixth thing that worked for me this quarantine season is to just spend time with God. I can't really box my time with the Lord because we all have different spiritual pathways. Sometimes I get to talk to Him while I'm writing, and whenever I would sing worship songs, whenever I would take photographs, I would put verses on it because it makes me remember them more. I can actually just be still. I don't have to read, get my mind occupied all the time. I can just, lie down and reflect on life, just rest. Allow God to speak to you through silence and stillness. And the last thing that worked well for me is to minister to others. As they say in CCC that your ministry should just be an outflow of your love for God. Doing ministry doesn't have to be so grand, it doesn't have to be so big. Like you can't really just do ministry with whatever capacity you have been given. When I was watching this series called The Chosen, the inspiration of the director was someone messaged him to just give his loaves and fishes to the Lord. Like the boy in the Bible who gave Jesus whatever that he had, God multiplied it. So parang ganun din yung ministry ko. I may not have the same capacity to give grand things to frontliners or kung ano man yung ginagawa ng mga tao ngayon in helping out in this season. But in my own way, I can do ministry. I don't have to force myself into giving something that I don't have. The gift the Lord has given me is encouraging people, listening to them, giving them my time. Ephesians 5 verse 15 to 16. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Ito rin yung mga verses that encouraged me to really be a good steward of the days that I have, because I really don't know when the Lord Jesus would come. I don't want Jesus to come while I'm doing something na hindi naman talaga pleasing or glorifying sa Kanya. Ayaw din naman natin na maging masyadong extreme. Alam mo yun, after the quarantine season, parang hindi ka rin rested. This is also one way where we can relax and spend more time with God. Ito talaga din yung best season na pwede natin ipa-deal with yung mga personal issues natin. And since nasa house naman ako ng parents, might as well spend time with them. I'm very thankful to God that He has used this quarantine season for me to know myself better, to process, to bring healing into areas of my life that hasn't really been healed. I've made restitutions with people. I've resulted to forgive people. And after this quarantine is over, medyo nabawasan na ng baggages yung puso ko. Thank you once again for listening to me. Bye!